Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, for 1 year as we read through St. Faustina's diary. Join me, Amy Thomas, each day for a short reading out of the diary which brought us a deeper understanding of Christ's divine mercy. Hello, Catholic pilgrims. Welcome back for day 2 of our reading from St. Faustina's diary. So today we're going to be reading, I guess I'm making this up as I go. I don't know exactly how it's supposed to be divided, but this would be number 2, and under that, sections 3, 4, 5, and 6. They're kind of broken into paragraphs or chunks of her thoughts. So if you're following along in your book, that's what we're going to be reading today. Now, today this particular passage that I'm going to be reading from is from July 28th, 1934. So tomorrow when we read, we're going to be jumping back in time. So this is kind of springing forward just a little bit, and then tomorrow we'll go back, I believe it's to 1925. So it kind of jumps around a little bit, but let's get into it. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, God and souls, King of mercy, guide my soul. Sister Faustina of the Blessed Sacrament. O my Jesus, because of my trust in you, I weave thousands of garlands, and I know that they will all blossom. And I know that they will all blossom when God's sun will shine on them. O great and divine sacrament that veils my God, Jesus, be with me each moment, and no fear will enter my heart. Again, from July 28th, 1934, on God and souls. Be adored, O most holy Trinity, now and for all time. Be adored in all your works and all your creatures. May the greatness of your mercy be admired and glorified, O God. I am to write down the encounters of my soul with you, O God, at the moments of your special visitations. I am to write about you, O incomprehensible in mercy towards my soul. Your holy will is the life of my soul. I have received this order through him who is for me, your representative here on earth, who interprets your holy will to me. Jesus, you see how difficult it is for me to write, how unable I am to put down clearly what I experience in my soul. O God, can a pen write down that for which many a time there are no words? But you give the order to write, O God. That is enough for me. So there's a lot in there. I told you this book is dense and it's packed with a ton, and I could go on and on and on about like each line. What I wanted to focus on the most was 2 lines in this part here. And one of them is, be adored in all your works and all your creatures. And, throughout the history of man, basically, we find all throughout history, in all cultures and in all times, people worshiping at least some form of God or gods. There was at least a desire and an acknowledgement that there was something higher than themselves. Now, many times they all got it wrong, worshiping numerous gods or, things that they created with their own hand. But the point of it is that it seems to be that we are a spiritual people. As humans, there's something innate in us that draws our mind and our hearts to something greater than ourselves. Now, it wasn't fully revealed to all people, but you can see that people were striving for it. And admittedly, sometimes people got it dangerously wrong. Worshiping gods, there was human sacrifice and child sacrifice and terrible, horrible things. But the point remains is that people were recognizing that there was a higher authority. But that's not how it is today. And I think at this point in our culture, we are seeing unprecedented levels of people who are not desiring to be spiritual or religious in any way. In fact, It's not so much that they just don't want to be spiritual or religious in any way. It is that there is scorn heaped upon religion or religious people. There's a mockery constantly. And so when she says, be adored in all your creatures, that is something that seems to be slipping. Now, we know God will prevail, but we really see it happening in our culture, especially in America. We see this happening. Atheists aren't just content to just sit by and I just don't want to believe in God, or I just don't find it compelling. It's that they are actively trying to get people to think like them, that there's no God. It's all a bunch of nonsense. And specifically, there's scorn heaped upon Christ, which really shouldn't surprise us, actually. And, just the other day I was looking at, I have a friend who is an atheist, and the religion that she attacks the most is Christianity, obviously. And it's just constant. It's one meme after another of mocking and seriously offensive things that she says that are said about Christ. None of that matters to her. It doesn't matter if she offends me or anything like that, or any other Christian. But it's this scorn. It's this, they're not even acknowledging that possibly there is a God or anything like that. Not only are they not going to believe, but they are going to just be vile about it. And I think it's because nowadays we live in a time where we are more wealthy, more comfortable, more able to dive into pleasures than any other time in the history of the world. We live in such a comfortable period of time. Now, I know we're going through the coronavirus, but in reality, when you look back over the course of the history of man, we live in a really comfortable time. And I think what this has caused us to, or many people to do, is fall more and more into idolizing ourselves or themselves and our abilities. Which brings me to the second thing that I wanted to point out about what she says. And that is that it's our will that we're constantly seeking. We can do this. We can cure some diseases. We can have all this money. We can afford all these things. We can, for the most part, we have food to eat, and we can buy, sweaters for our dogs. We're so wealthy. We can buy all these little trinkety gadget things that mean nothing, fads that go out of style in no time at all. We can, we've got fast fashion. We don't wear our clothes for more than, a certain amount of time. Or long ago, people had to wear them until they're basically threadbare. Get off the point. But my point is that we see ourselves as not even needing a God. Just look at all that we can do. But what I've noticed is that people don't seem more happy. I mean, you look around on Facebook, you look around just when you're out and about, people are not happy following their own will. And it's because we've forgotten that our desire should be to do what she says. Your holy will is the life of my soul. We've forgotten that. And when we don't make God's holy will a part of our lives, when we completely reject it, our souls are going to die. They are going to become dark, tarnished, until they're just black. And we'll scramble around and we'll try to find something that fixes it. So we'll go to this vice or this temptation or this pleasure or this comfort or whatever it is. And if I can just do this, then I'll be happy. And actually, when our soul gets that black and that dark, because we're just following ourselves and we've lost the life of our soul, which is to do the will of God, I think it causes us to even heap more scorn on God. Because what I've noticed is a lot of atheists, or people who don't believe, or people who even do believe but just aren't following God's will for their life whatsoever, that, like me back when I was a Christian in name, but I didn't do anything to show that I was a Christian. it's not so much that people who don't believe in God don't really believe. It's almost that they just are mad at him and absolutely hate him. And so they're going to, I'm going to show you, I don't need you. I can do this on my own. And so we get the whole following your own will, which never makes us happy. But really, that's what it should be. His holy will should be the life of our soul. And we should be adoring him as his creatures. And that is what will bring us true happiness. So today, what I would say to reflect on is, how often do you struggle with doing, wanting to follow your own will as opposed to God? And if you struggle with following God's will, why is that? For me, when I was growing up, part of the reason why I struggled to follow God's will is because I didn't trust him enough that it would make my life good. I thought I knew better. I didn't trust God enough to know me well enough to make my life good, purposeful, fruitful, worthwhile, all those things. I thought I knew better. So I would just really explore today maybe the times in your life when you have struggled to follow the will of God and wanted to go your own way. What was it that was kind of holding you back there? So that's all for today, Catholic pilgrims. I will see you tomorrow, and until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.